everyone, it's Imogen and welcome back to Colouring Kid. So in today's video I'm going to be sharing how I managed to refill my Derwent blender pens with ZestIt blend, which I've had quite a few questions about because I've mentioned that I do it in several videos. I find that it's really good for accuracy using the ZestIt blend in one of the pens, because the blender pens I just prefer anyway as a medium for blending because they are accurate. As I mentioned, you get a lot more control and there are different size tips. Now if I do use the ZestIt, which I have done on many occasions in backgrounds, I tend to just use cotton buds to blend it, which takes a lot of time, but it is effective. Again, I get a really smooth effect, but for tiny areas it's not so great. But I do really like how the ZestIt works. I can't fault it, and it's just as good as the medium that they put in the Derwent blender pens. So I'm not sure exactly what they put in here, but it's like a blending fluid. So once they dry out, I mean, I've gone through so many. These are just a few of them. I've obviously ditched loads in the past. Once they run out, obviously it's a bit of a waste because they are quite expensive. So I figured out a way of refilling them so that I can use the ZestIt in them and still keep the pens. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you. Now I think that personally it works better with the bigger tips, just because they tend to absorb the fluid a bit better. Overall I prefer them to the thinner tips as well. Sometimes the thinner tips can be a little bit scratchy. So I'm just going to pick one that I know for a fact has run out, because I think quite a few, yeah, this has run out. A few of them might have a little bit of life left in them, but also just as a side note, I'm filming on just my table, just in case anything spills. I don't want to get it all over the paper that I use as the backing for my videos. So yeah, this is the ZestIt blend that I use. I've had this for such a long time and I love it. I think it works really well, and it's what I would recommend as a pencil blend. I'm not sure if you can get it outside of the UK. I think some people have said that they have got it, but I'm not sure. It's mainly just found here in the UK. I've also in the past used the blending sponge, which is also really good. I just tend to put some pipette drops of the fluid on here, and then it's a little bit of a better way of not picking up too much of this, because if you were to dip a cotton bud just straight into the fluid, it would be too oily and just would absolutely mess up the paper. So this is how I prefer to do it. Just put a few drops in and then use them to get that accuracy, and you can also dab them off before you use them. So that's another way. And I have also experimented with the Surgical Spirit, which I think is pretty much the same sort of thing. I'm not an expert on this type of thing, but this is also a solvent that does work well. I have tried it, and yeah, it does work. Especially, I think blending alcohol markers, it's quite good as well. I have a feeling I've tried that and it works. I don't tend to use it as much. I'm going to be sharing how I do it with the ZestIt, but you can make it work with anything really that can be used as a blending solution. So I'm going to show you how I do it. Now it is a bit of as you say, like forceful. You do need to be quite firm with it, because from first sight it doesn't really seem obvious how you get the tip out. But all you have to do, and I do this with scissors because it's easier, but I'm sure you could do it with your fingers, maybe not. And you don't obviously want to chop the tip off, but sort of just get it in the scissors with quite firm pressure. Oh, see, it doesn't always work first time. And sort of just yank the tip out like that. So this is what the tip looks like. And if you've ever had sets of like dual tip brush pens that come with extra tips and you need to replace the tip, this is also how you do it. So this actually still is a little bit damp here, although this is pretty much a run out one now because it's really dry at the end. So yeah, I've now just got the barrel empty. So all you do is simply get a few pipettes of the solution and put it in. Obviously you don't want to overload it because then it just won't work very well. But you can put quite a lot in. It does take a fair amount. And obviously when you first buy the pens, they're quite heavy, and as you use them up, as you'd expect, they get lighter. So I'm going to say that's about right. And then it's easier to put the tip back in, obviously, you just press it down. Now when you're storing these, I would recommend storing them upright like this, because then the solution will actually come down to the tip of the pen. If you don't do that, because this is a refilling method, it might not work as well, because you don't have the solution running all the way through the pen. So you might just want to let it sit for a few moments, see how it goes, and if you can get it working. It was really a trial and error thing with me. Sometimes I didn't put enough in, sometimes I put too much in, and it just overloaded the pen. So this is just a way of saving your pens and saving money, actually. So because it's very similar to the Derwent blender pen solution, yeah, just works just as well. So let's give it a go, see what happens. It's very, very wet on the tip to begin with. It's always going to be like that, so you can just wipe that away. But as you can see, it's taken to the ZestIt very well, and they don't last as long as a normal pen would. I'm not sure if you can see that shadowing on the paper. That's where I've used it. This has now properly started working again. Now, as I said, it's not going to be as juicy as it once was when I bought the pen. But that's absolutely fine, because you can keep refilling it and reusing it. So there's definitely benefits to this. And also, if you put enough in, if you've got colour on the end of your pen like I do, you can sort of rub it so it comes off, but the colour doesn't transfer anyway. So that's pretty much it. It's really, really simple to do. I hope it's helped for people who are asking about this, because I know I had a few questions, and believe me, it does not look obvious from first goes at how to do it. I'm sure it'll work with the other tips as well. I haven't really tried. Oh, that was even easier. So yeah, again, you can do it with the smaller tips as well. You may not be able to get a pipette in there, so it would be a little bit more difficult to refill, but it works the same. And you could even potentially try this with like felt tip pens, if you've got inks or something like that, to see how it works. I'm not sure how that would work, but you could give it a go. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been helpful. It's a bit of a DIY method, but it works for me, and that's what I like to do with my pens, which yeah, does save me a lot of money. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.